My name is Hoadley-Brill. I am a graduate student in the School of Education and Human Development here at GW, and I am one of the co-presidents of GW Students Against Sexual Assault, or SASA.
My name is Abby Canning. I'm a senior at GW studying criminal justice. I co-run GWProtectsRapists. I kind of run backup. I let Steph take the lead and I'm just there to support. So we don't have any sort of chairs or like presidents or any formal organization. It's just the two of us, taking on GW admin. So that's where I'm at.
GW, SASA, and other students through the collective called #GWProtectsRapists have been pushing for systemic change on our campus when it comes to survivor support and the offices and systems that we have in place that are meant to support survivors. So there was a demonstration at commencement on October 2nd. There have been statements made public by SASA as well as other organizations. And last night, October 13th, we had a listening and healing session and forum that provided the space for 25 different students, both named and anonymous, to share their experiences with GW offices, departments, and systems that were meant to support survivors of violence, particularly sexual violence, but have failed them in one way or another throughout that process.
It felt so good. It's felt long overdue. I've talked to them before candidly, but not in that setting. Like I've talked on the phone to Director Asha Reynolds of Title IX and asked her why she was continuing to protect the assailant. And she said she wasn't protecting anyone. And I agreed, and I gave her a little bit of a piece of my mind on that. And it felt so good to share that in a small way, but then to have, a whole community of people show up in the amphitheater and have, the higher ups in the administration actually actively listening. It was also really helpful to just be able to speak authentically and just off the top of my head. So the listening session was a huge opportunity that I'm really glad SASA set up.
Many students were present. I think the current estimation is between 60 and 70 students were present, both virtually and in person, as well as 11 administrators, and the list of those administrators you can find on our Instagram. After that listening session took place, students were encouraged to break out into smaller groups, facilitated by SASA executive board members, where they processed the event, they were able to discuss what they were experiencing, and they were able to talk about where we go from here.
So the current process is just this amorphous blob of hoping that someone takes you seriously. And there's also serious gaps in the policies for alumni or non-student perpetrators, things like that. So that can make things complicated, and that's where we're seeing a lot of the shortcomings of Title IX. Of course, there's flaws throughout the entire process, but one of the big things we're focusing on is the barring process itself, because that's something that it's kind of one of the biggest glaring errors that we feel we could actually make a change on. I mean, of course, there's so much to fix, but it's a good place to start.
And so SASA has used its platform primarily on Instagram to spread the word about the different events that we are having associated with gaining justice and more just systems for survivors. But we've also used our platform to spread information about why it is that we're choosing to do the things that we're doing, and justifying that through the statements, the policy recommendations, whatever it may be. So this event is a formal acknowledgement of harm. It is a way for us as students to say and to recognize that administrators can no longer pretend that this is not an issue. They were in that room, they heard those survivors, they heard those experiences. So at the very minimum, we are all approaching this issue from the same base level knowledge and understanding of what students are experiencing every single day on this campus.
I think that I've given up getting justice on my own case, and I would just like safety at this point, and I think that seems like a more manageable goal. I want to be able to feel safe on campus again, and I think by speaking and organizing, that's helping me regain that feeling of safety when GW took that away from me. So that's kind of the biggest personal goal that I have is some healing from it, because it's really draining work to do. I really wish I didn't have to do this. But it's important, and we're not going to stop until something changes. And it looks like things are the wheels are turning for change right now, which is really exciting. Chief Tate said that they are re-examining the barring process to try and make some changes there using student input. And I'm really hoping they practice what they preach and they'll actually listen to us this time around. but fingers crossed. It's been, my original petition got thousands of signatures last year. Annika's got thousands in 2017. So it's been 4 years, thousands of signatures, dozens of stories, and just now we're being listened to, which is a problem, but it's also really exciting to like be at the forefront of that change. And I just want to make sure that like people don't lose steam. We got a lot of initial traction and we're, still, the gears are still turning, but I don't want people to get discouraged that change isn't happening right away, because it's on its way. It's overdue, but it's coming.